Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Wiz Talks. I'm your host Wiz. Our motto is to think again about our views. Today we explore how the global south, China and Russia, are shaping the multipolar world. We're talking about cables on the ocean floor. We're talking about satellites that never sleep. We're talking about artificial intelligence that doesn't just play chess. It runs cities, manages supply chains, and soon will negotiate with other AIs on your behalf. Today's episode is titled The Digital Silk Road. China's digital Silk Road is a transformative 21st century strategy that is reshaping global digital governance standards and technological leadership. China's digital Silk Road is different from the original Silk Road, which was a physical network of camels, caravans, and courage. It took months to move goods from Xi'an to Rome. China's new digital Silk Road, launched in 2015 as an extension of the Belt and Road Initiative, moves data at the speed of light. And unlike the camels, this version doesn't carry just silk and spices. It carries something far more valuable, the architecture of the future. Let me give you a number. By 2025, China's data industry had reached a scale of 6 trillion yuan. That's roughly 900 billion US dollars, supported by over 400,000 data enterprises. This is an industrial scale reimagining of how technology develops and deploys globally. The original Belt and Road Initiative, the BRI, announced in 2013, was about physical infrastructure, ports, railways, pipelines. But 2015, Chinese leadership realized something crucial. The 21st century won't be won by concrete and steel alone. It's a digital age. It would be won by spectrum and code. The digital Silk Road was officially endorsed that year, and it gained serious momentum during the second Belt and Road Initiative Forum in 2019. The vision: to enhance digital connectivity between the BRI countries by improving technology infrastructure, expanding wireless networks, enhancing undersea communication links, and developing satellite capabilities. The West spent the 20th century building a global order based on rules, trade rules, legal rules, military alliances. But China is not trying to play the game better. China is building a new stadium. By late 2013, the BRI started with only 9 countries. But today, 148 out of 193 countries have signed memorandums of understanding with China. And the digital Silk Road component has spread even faster because digital infrastructure is cheaper, faster to deploy, and politically less controversial than a naval base. Remember, China is the biggest trading partner for most countries and continents, including Australia and Europe. Now let's get into the facts and figures that will truly make you think again. Because the digital Silk Road is not just about laying fiber optic cables. Although between 2020 and 2024, Chinese firm laid over 250,000 kilometers of them across Africa alone, connecting more than 8 million households to broadband. No, the real story is what comes next. The 15th five-year plan, 2026 to 2030, prioritizes breakthroughs in AI foundation models, high-end chips, and ethical standards, aiming to double chip capacity and export digital framework via BRI channels. Let me break this down. China is not just building hardware. It is building the rules for how that hardware operates. And this is where the strategic genius emerges. A recent report from the US-China Economic and Security Review Commission describes what they call a dual circulation strategy for AI. Here's how it works. On one side, China has embraced open source AI models. Companies like DeepSeek, Baba, and others have released models that are competitive with their Western counterparts, despite US chip export controls. These open source models can be downloaded, adapted, and deployed by anyone. On the other side, China has a massive industrial base: factories, logistics, networks, robotics. When you deploy cheap, powerful AI models into that industrial base, you create what the report calls an innovation flywheel. The AI improves manufacturing, manufacturing generates data, and the data improves the AI. Round and round it goes. And the result, by 2025, China's open source strategy has already started reshaping the competitive landscape. While the US was focused on building bigger, more expensive closed models, China was building models that anyone could use and then deploy them everywhere. Now in 2020, has progressed further. So let's talk about 6G, because if you think 5G was a big deal, you haven't seen anything yet. At a recent forum in Beijing, China, laid out the vision for 6G, two core innovations that will define the next generation of mobile communications: satellite terrestrial integration and intelligent agent communication. These two things are vital. Satellite terrestrial integration means that by 2030, your phone won't just connect to a tower. It will seamlessly switch between terrestrial networks and satellites in low, medium, and geostationary orbit. The Chinese team has already taken the leadership in this role. And here's the kicker. In March 2026, Starlink, Elon Musk's satellite internet constellation, announced it was shifting from its proprietary system to embrace the 5G NTN, non-terrestrial network standard that China helped pioneer. The seven countries, eight standard chaos of the satellite industry is giving way to a unified global framework, one where China has significant influence. Starlink's copy. The second innovation, intelligent agent communication, is even more profound. It is predicted that by 2030, there will be billions of active intelligent agents, AI systems that act on behalf of users, businesses, or even other AIs, communicating across networks. This has already started. These agents won't just send messages, they will negotiate, collaborate, and transact. The telecom companies will become the landlords of the AI economy in the future. So, where is all this heading? Let me paint you a picture of 2030. A farmer in rural Kenya needs a loan to buy seeds. She pulls out her phone, a device built with Chinese chips, running on a 6G network built by Huawei, connected to a satellite launched by China Aerospace. She puts in her request in Swahili. An AI agent trained on open source models from Alibaba, fine-tuned for local agriculture, processes a request, checks a credit history against a blockchain ledger, and approves a microloan within seconds. The interest rate is calculated by an algorithm that has learned from millions of similar transactions across Southeast Asia and Latin America. This is not science fiction. This is the trajectory of the digital Silk Road. China will set technical standards and norms for AI development in the coming years. They have already started. For example, in Pattaya, Thailand, who partnered with National Telecom to roll out a smart city project that integrates 5G, AI, and Internet of Things, IoT, through a network of smartphones connected to an intelligent operations center. The system enables real-time traffic management, weather monitoring, and emergency response. Thailand's broader vision aims to establish 105 smart cities by 2027. These kinds of projects are on the rise in Malaysia, Indonesia, and other places also. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Critics raise valid concerns about the digital Silk Road. They warn of debt trap diplomacy, of China exporting its model of technology-enabled governance, of surveillance systems. There are concerns about China's ambition to return to the global center stage as a great power have recently begun to focus on the digital Silk Road. These concerns are not without merit. Chinese companies have deployed facial recognition systems in Zimbabwe and Uganda, collecting millions of biometric records. Smart city projects in Ethiopia and Ghana integrate CCTV networks with AI monitoring. Privacy advocates warn that unchecked data collection could enable governments to suppress dissent, especially in countries with weak regulatory frameworks. The digital Silk Road is a complex ecosystem of state-owned enterprises, private tech giants, local partners, and host governments with their own individual agendas. In Bangkok's popular shopping district, 61% of merchants have adopted Chinese mobile payment systems. This is not through coercion. This is because of convenience. Technology, once adopted, becomes invisible, and that is perhaps the most profound power of it all. So let's summarize what we've learned. First, the digital Silk Road represents a fundamental shift on how global technology infrastructure is built and governed. It is not an add-on to the BRI. It is becoming its central nervous system. Second, China's open source AI strategy combined with its massive industrial base has created an innovation flywheel that dominates. The dual circulation of digital and physical innovation is reshaping the competitive landscape. Third, 6G, with its satellite, terrestrial integration, and intelligent agent communication, will transform not just how we connect, but who and what connects. By 2030, billions of AI agents will be negotiating with each other across networks that China has helped design and standardize. Fourth, the digital Silk Road is already delivering tangible benefits. Fiber optic cables across Africa, smart cities in Thailand, payment systems in Southeast Asia, G factories that dramatically improve productivity. And finally, the geopolitical implications are profound. The United States is fighting a 20th century war of containment. China is fighting a 21st century war of attraction. By building infrastructure, setting standards, and making its technology the default choice for developing nations. Look at the Chinese EV cars and solar panels. Think again about what power looks like in the digital age. Is it the ability to deny technology to others? Or is it the ability to make your technology so useful, so affordable, so embedded in daily life that nobody wants to refuse it? So, as humans, who are we? Are we the architects of the future? Or are we simply existing? How can we mold humanity for a better world? Thank you for joining me on this episode of Riz Talks. Are we living in a way that will leave this world better than we found it? That's the question. So please share the message with others. Think again, challenge ideas, join the conversation and subscribe. This is Riz Talks. Be curious, be kind, and come back for more.